meaning in speaking and listening. Speaking and listening are both active uses of language, but differ in the mental activity involving and demands that they make on learners of language in terms of finding and sharing meaning. Listening can be seen as the active use of language to access other people's meanings, whereas speaking is the active use of language to express meanings so that other people can make sense of them. To construct understanding in a foreign language, learners will use their extensive resources built up from previous experience of language use. In active listening, the goal of the mental work is to make sense. For example, children listening to a story told in the foreign language from a book with pictures will understand and construct the gist or outline meaning of the story in their minds. Although the story may be told in the foreign language, the mental processing does not need to use the foreign language and may be carried out in the first language. If we were to check what the children understood, we might find they could tell you the story in their first language. They could recall the meaning and they might recall some words or phrases in the foreign language. It is very unlikely that they will be able to retell the story in their foreign language because their attention has not been focused on the words and syntax of the story, but on its underlying meaning. To speak in the foreign language in order to share understanding with other people require attention to precise details of the language. A speaker needs to find the most appropriate words and the correct grammar to convey meaning accurately and precisely. Speaking is much more demanding than listening on language learners, and because they are so demanding require careful and plentiful support of various types. Not just support for understanding, but also support for production. The terms input and output are often used to refer to listening and speaking respectively. This terminology reflects a computer model. The information which is received as input is mentally processed and the results produced as output. We have further developed the idea of discourse as meaningful use of language and children as participants in the discourse, search out meaning and coherence in what they hear around them. Discourse in the foreign language makes different demands on children from in their first language, and if they are to use their meaning making capacities to help in language learning, the teacher must support them by making meaning accessible. Task as planned. This task sets the initial condition for the use of English by pupils and teachers. As it unfolds, it creates the environment of language use and learning. The demands and support of this initial task as planned can be analyzed as follows. Cognitive demands, support by previous knowledge and by allowing pupils to choose an animal they know about. Language demands, support them by open choice as to what to describe by early reading of the text. Discourse demands, extending talk is required, supported by previous work on the topic. Interactional demands, to tell your classmates and the visiting researchers with type recorder. Involving demands, to be motivated to create an interesting description. The task in action. In the next extract, you will notice that the plain extended description is not produced, but instead the teacher helps out the pupil by asking questions. What kind of animal is it? It is a fox. Is a fox or it is small? Little.
Free. created using Powtoon.